Welcome everyone. Welcome to the first, and if Ellie and myself have anything to do with it, the last annual Eleanor Mizrahi Charity Fund Comedy Extravaganza.
Thank you. We've got a great crowd here tonight. Looking around, it's like the who's who of tax evasion.
Speaking of tax evasion, unfortunately Rabbi Mervis couldn't be here tonight, but we do have a lot of Mizrahi distinguished guests in attendance here tonight.
I don't know, Josh, distinguished Mizrahi guests is a bit of an oxymoron, like delicious Eshel food, or attractive Yugoslavians.
Look, regardless, Ellie, it really is great to be here, for both of us to be here at our old stomping ground, legally Yavna College, the Lehman Brothers of Melbourne Jewish schools. Interesting fact, Yavna is the only school in the world with more bank loans than students.
Yes, Yavna Supremo David Fisher is as well known at the Commonwealth Bank as an Adas principal at the Supreme Court. It's going to get worse. Really leave. But it's what David Fisher does inside the bank, which is what keeps the school afloat. As many of you know, David is an extremely positive man who won't take no for an answer, which is a fantastic attitude to fundraising, but a terrible defence in a sexual assault case.
And good for you, David. Good for you, David, because the Melbourne Jewish community needs Yavna, which has built its reputation as a friendly, tight-knit community where everyone is welcome and everyone knows each other. Unless, of course, you are a Russian student who has just moved schools from King David, in which case nobody will talk to you for 12 years.
But David Fisher is not alone in this capacity, because Mizrahi is fortunate to have lots of people who are willing to make tough calls for the benefit of the community. And by lots of people, I mean Danny Lamb, and by community, I mean Danny Lamb. I mean, who else has the guts to relocate Beit Arayeh, speak at every Shalom Shudas, or provide the smart advice to Rabbi Sprung that he should just put it to a vote, because what could possibly go wrong?
Wherever you are, Rabbi Sprung, we hope you're enjoying the show. Now, it's kind of ironic that Ellie and I were invited to speak here at Yavna tonight, given that I actually married a Bialik girl and Ellie married a Skopas girl. I mean, it's not as bad as Harvey Weinstein speaking at the next Weetzo event, but it's pretty controversial.
But the fact that we're always welcome back with open arms is the Yavna difference, which is the school slogan. Just like Shalom Aleichem slogan, Yiddish, it's the future. And Adas's slogan, lowest airfares guaranteed.
Look, it's tough being a parent these days because there just are so many Jewish schools for us to choose from. From the big schools like Skopas, to the not really Jewish schools like Bialik, all the way down to the seriously what's the point schools like Yesodei HaTorah.
Josh and I are both fortunate to have kids of our own. I've got 2 boys and Josh has a girl, or as they're known in the Chabad community, not a boy. And we've got some serious decisions to make, especially with the cap school fees in Yavna and Beth Rivka.
Look, I love a bargain as much as the next Jew, but look, I'm not going to send my little Maisie to Beth Rivka. If I wanted her to marry a guy who sells frequent flyer points for a living, I would just introduce her to Josh Diamond, and I will not introduce her to Josh Diamond.
And I'm not going to send my boys to yeshiva because of the reason you're all quietly thinking to yourself. Not that Mizrahi doesn't have its problems, which is why we're all here tonight raising money for the Mizrahi Charity Fund, which I believe was set up to address the devastating poverty on Lemire Road.
Look, there are some sickening reports that some Mizrahi women have actually had to resort to actually working. I'm sorry, look, this does cut quite close to home for me. I promise I wouldn't get emotional tonight, but look, when the Gurgiel family attended the Aussie Pesach program in Cairns this year, we had to stay in, that's right, Ellie, standard rooms. There was no daybed, there wasn't even his and her slippers.
It's heartbreaking stuff, Josh. Now, Ada deserves better than that. We all do. So if we dig deep and open up our hearts tonight, I truly believe we can create a future where no Gurgiel is ever forced to spend a single night in a non-executive suite. And isn't that what this event is all about?
That's exactly what this event is all about. But look, that and complaining about the food, the content, the venue, and the food. So ladies and gentlemen, start drafting those abusive emails in your heads already, and let's get this show on the road.
I can't wait. We have a fantastic lineup of comedians tonight who are sure to keep everyone entertained and energized throughout the night. And best of all, once you're all in stitches and the mood has reached fever pitch, we're going to screen a documentary.
Because nothing says we've run out of ideas and money like screening a documentary to fill time. Straight out of the Legally Up to College Teacher's Handbook. But before we push play on tonight's feature presentation, it's time to welcome our first comedian of the evening, Lainey Chait. So keen.
Lainey Chait's LinkedIn profile says she works at a place called the Happy Herb Company. So if we could have a volunteer to drive her home after the show tonight, that would be greatly appreciated. A seasoned performer, I personally had the pleasure of seeing Lainey live when she hosted a show at the Melbourne Jewish Comedy Festival, and you are definitely in for a treat. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Lainey Chait.